we're back to work on the 6-wheel drive again, and I specified this as a 6-wheel drive because I have a 4-wheel drive version over there too. Anyway, this is a Land Rover Perentie. These were originally a 4-wheel drive that was supplied to the Australian Army, who modified them into a 6-wheel drive, although I'm erroneous in that it was actually Jaguar Rover Australia who did that on behalf of the Army. Anyway, this one used to be an ambulance, and it used to have 3 seats in the front. Presently it has 2 seats in a box, but through a series of events which I won't explain in too much detail, I have a spanking brand new seat. Now, oh, it did too. Okay. Cost me about $2,600 by the time I was done. And in any case, we're going to put a 3rd seat in the front, and that requires me to do a bit of investigation and a bit of cleaning out of other stuff and getting out of the sun a little bit. We have some macas and stuff in here, but these pretty much still have the threaded holes down here for the seat bolts, and we can pretty easily put a lap band across them. I think we might even be able to get away with leaving the rifle holders in here. I don't know yet, but we'll see how we go. In any case, we have a box full of nuts and bolts. I am informed by a reliable source that these are a grade 8.8 M8 bolt. And I can confirm the 8.8 by looking at these. This, I'm pretty sure, is an 8mm metric bolt. We shall see. It appears to be going in. That is nice. I actually have 8mm bolts. This could be a very quick and easy video. We'll see how we go. Well, it doesn't appear to have cross-threaded yet, and I think by the number of turns we've got, it should have cleared the thread by now. I think that's pretty good. Alright, I'm going to get my rattle gun to get that out. One. Yep, that's good. Alright. Oh, feels like that captive nut's moving. That could potentially be cross-threading, or it could have just had a lot of dirt in there. Alright, so after closer inspection and climbing underneath, they're a nylock. There is a nylon bush there, that's why it gets firm. Which would make sense, being that they're seat bolts. You don't want your seat bolts rattling out with vibrations. So, now to see if I have 4 of those bolts. Alright, so we've established we've got 3 bolts. I'll have to get some more in the morning. And I'll need to get a seat belt as well. However, I found I can buy seat belts that will do the job, that are brand new and properly rated at the local auto shop for about $100, for a little bit less. I need to move all this junk out of the middle, and a lot of that is really handy stuff I'd like to keep in here, so I'm going to miss having that that space in there. But I need to clear this center space. I might leave the sound deadening in that the previous owner put in here, but we'll see how that works. In any case, I need to clear that center area. Alright, we've got things moved, and I'm having a look under this. The re-holes are not threaded, so I will need some nylock nuts under that, and I'm going to need somebody to get in underneath and hold the spanner for me while I put the rattle gun on this one. I thought about leaving all this in place, but I don't like having that, the idea of having that between the bolt faces, especially when it comes to a seat. So I'm going to rip this up, and I have some leftover tray liner rubber, recycled car tire, into like its sheet stuff. Works really well for sound deadening, so I will cut some sheets and just slip it underneath the seat once I'm done. Looking at this, the seats might miss the rifle holders. I might leave them in there. Anyway, I'm going to rip some of this up and see how we go. I hate this stuff. Alright, well we can get to the seat bolts at least, and that's the main thing we were worried about. So I think tonight we'll put it in here, we'll put the front two bolts in, make sure the back bolts line up, and then we'll find some appropriate bolts in the morning. Hopefully I've got money in my bank by then. I'm waiting for money to come through. So yeah. It's in. All right. All right, I'm going to drop one bolt in the rear hole just to help with alignment for now. Let's have a crack at this. Well, it turns out that other hole is threaded. It's just missing a captive nut in one hole. Okay, we've got one more bolt to put in, and we'll find that at Bunnings tomorrow. But it's going to fit between the rifle holders. This is all stuff I couldn't figure out, so this will be good. And yes, I can clearly access those. I'll use an extension bar later on. Let's go around the other side and put this back in place. All right, we will. Okay, that's as far as it's going to go back in its present condition. And that looks pretty good. All right, will the headrest work where it is? Probably will. Bring it forward. Oh, there's a lot of spring on that. All right, now it's going to work with the headrest. It's all right. Now we're going to find our way back in and see how comfortable it is to shift gears. All right. Well, I think that if I've got somebody in the middle here, I can lean across them fairly easily. It's not going to be too hard. I'll clutch in for that one. Yep. Let's go reverse. Yep. All right. It's going to be good. All right. Well, it's a damn sight wider than the seat in the 4B. So that looks very comfortable. Actually, this is the most comfortable seat in the whole vehicle. I may end up swapping this for the driver's position later on. I really didn't think that was going to be that easy to get in here. Yeah, there is a captive nut that's dropped off, so I'll get myself another 8mm 8.8 bolt with a nylock nut and some washers, and I'll chuck that through here. Anyway, we'll get the seat belt to bolt onto those common belt points, which is what they do in the other one, where they put the dual seat belts in. They use the same anchor point, so I think that should be right. Let's see you in the morning when I've got some more bolts.
The next morning.
All right, so we're waiting on a seat belt. We've got one on order. That's going to be here tomorrow apparently. So we need to sort out that last bolt that's hanging through there. Now, I think the captive nut just fell out. Do we have our bolt in here? We're going to move everything forward. And I have a washer and a nylock here that we might be able to put on underneath, but we might need a second person to hold that. Let's get this seat moved forward. Now, I'm so used to having to pull up hard on that. Let's make sure this is the right size nut. It is indeed, and it's nylock, so it shouldn't rattle off. And we've got that. And that bolt falls through clearly. All right, now we need to get under there and see if we can find where that bolt comes out. Right, before we do that, I had an idea. I'm trying to think about how to not have to get the missus involved in this, because I technically shouldn't be walking around. I've got problems with my feet right now. I think if I leave a spanner sitting up here on that bolt head, that might do the job. Alright, that is wedged against the chair. If I take the rattle gun underneath me with me, with the right size socket for that, we might get it on our own. Alright, we're down here, and I have a nut and washer in my pocket, and I am getting wild head spins. That is since one of the attacks of MS. That's a problem with laying on my back nowadays. Alright, let's see if I can get these on. Oddly enough, this is actually really accessible. Normally these sort of things are not very accessible in a Rover. Alright, let's see if I can really gently get this on here. Let's see if I can get my... Alright, crap falling in my mouth. Stop talking. Alright. Can we get this? Alright, we're free spinning now. I'll have to get up and put the spanner back in place and maybe tape it down.
20 minutes later.
Got the missus holding the spanner for me. So here we go. Okay, you're good?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Shit. Now try.
Alright, we're good. Alright, so as it turns out, I had to get the wife's help for at least 30 seconds, but that's alright. And I've got to spend some time ripping bindies out of this front yard. Never used to have bindies this far south until recently, and they've come up. These things make little, like, three-pointed, spiky little seed pods, and they're nasty. And they get in all through your grass. I've got to get some weed and feed into that. Anyway, there's our bolt there. No washer on the top because the seat plate itself acts as a doubler. A washer underneath because we've lost the captive bolt or captive nut and the associated washer. So we've put a fairly decent, thick, large washer under there. It's not going to pull through. This should pull back nicely. We have a little bit of room to hide some stuff like toilet paper and stuff behind the seat. Alright, now we are waiting for seatbelt to come in tomorrow, which will bolt down to these bolt points right in here. So we'll have a lap band seat, a seatbelt, and then we'll have a center seat just in time to go and watch the fireworks for New Year's Eve.
The next morning.
Alright, I've had a delivery arrive. This is our seatbelt. We're going to fit this. We're actually in the field at the moment. We need to pick up a third person anyway, so this has got to go in right now. There's our seatbelt. There are some instructions and mounting bolts and whatnot. Okay, let's move you forwards. Where's the thingy? There we go. That is really easy. Piece of string. Now, where's one side of this? Put the buckle on this side. Let's see if that's going to stop the seat runner. No, that's not. That's alright. Alright, that's one side in. Let's go around the other side. Alright. Now good. Alright, put some stuff away and we'll check the fit and see if it works. There we go. Alright. Let's see if we clip in. We do. Awesome. We have a center seat fitted with seat belt. I think we're doing well.
Oh.
Alright. My apprentice still needs the step to get in. But, oh no. She's growing bigger, growing like a weed, this one. Anyway, we're doing good. We've got our seat in. I've got so many episodes on the go, I'm pretty much just going to cut this one here. But it was probably a fairly short episode. I haven't got around to editing anything yet. Anyway, hope you found it fun. We have a third seat, a brand spanking new, freshly manufactured Isri seat in the center. So the seat base doesn't lift up on this, but that's not a huge issue. There is a service cover under there, but we're only going to need that if we have to fix the gearbox, which I hope to not have to do. Anyway, we'll see you later, and I'm going to get a third person in here for a trip home. Hope you had fun. See you in the next one.